some big need to start new youth groups. Like I said, this word suffice to give it when it was time to, the district was starting and the churches were starting, but they didn't have no children, no youth, no, they were just having services. But why it was important that the church, first it would start with an NYI ministry. Youth ministry. So why do we need to start? Start, now restart, continue, or get a youth ministry going? Why do we need to?
Future of the church.
Yes, the future of the church. Why else?
The present of the church. The present of the church.
The presence of the church. The presence of the church. Presence. Okay, why else?
Not lose,
Huh?
not lose
Not lose?
your youth that are there.
Yeah, not lose the youth that are there. And we'll be sharing now where we are with the youth. I think there's some larger churches that are back and doing a lot of activities again, and like they wouldn't impact it or affect it as much. And I also know some churches in some youth group that are doing better. We just talked to Pastor Ned about my friend Sergey in Ukraine. You know, we started working with children, we started compassion ministry, getting food out and different things, stuff we learned to do with the youth. The youth that were able to go, he was able to go and work with children and go feed people. And appreciate Pastor Nena, this different people that continue to give out of their own pocket for that. We need to start. And then now he's pastoring, he had a church in his house during the pandemic, and now his church is over 400 people. In the middle of war, in the middle of the bombing, and no place to meet, in the middle of all this stuff, going and doing ministry. So, like I said, the churches that needed to get started, so now we're back to some churches that need to get started. Manny, you still, your NYI just went back to the way it used to be, kind of, right?
No, it changed.
It's just smaller, but we still have the board and planning and activities and youth meetings every week.
The activities are coming back slowly, but the dynamic change and then the age change. Right now we have a lot of young adults that are attending more than the little ones. A lot of the little ones are still dealing with social issues and stuff like that. So we're working with them, but it takes endurance, it takes consistency. But yeah, it's changed, it's different. It's different.
So now it's about a little over 3 years when the pandemic started. By that time, the youth that we had and went out to college and are not youth anymore, and is are young adults. It's hard, and that means a lot of them were leaders. Do you guys catch that? Why it's so hard right now? Because the age group 3 years later, normally that age group was 15 through 18, or even young adults, are already out of the youth ministry. They're gone. We're starting with junior highers that had nothing, they had no idea what really church is. We have children now that we want them to get involved with the youth, and they're like, no. It's hard. We're facing some challenges right now, but what do we really need to get back? Yeah, we started my church, Kids for Jesus again, Teens for Jesus, young adults. But we don't really have a youth service. But you know who kept the church financially, who's keeping the church financially right now going? The youth that are now young adults. They don't come to a youth service because they're no longer, they think they're kind of older for that now. But I'm looking at my church on Sunday morning, 2 Sundays ago, oh, wow, it's a lot of young people, young adults. I went, my other church in Norwalk, I was there last Sunday, and I looked back and go, wow, I do have moments. I was saying we don't have moments because we don't have moments service, but they're Sunday. And we're talking about my wife, well, we gotta do something once a month for the young adults. Just get it to them once a month. So we gotta start seeing what we can do, but we gotta get going again. We started with the kids, we had 60, 80, 100 kids on a Friday night. We started again, 10, 12. Itzel has like the theme class. She's our youth president, youth leader, that's part of sister. Itzel, raise your hand so everybody can see her. You know, she has 2, 3, 4, 5. They show up to her class. Rain and everything, but we started. But we just started again. We restarted again. If we wouldn't have restarted, we wouldn't have anything. First day we said, maybe we'll have 1 or 2. 2 or 3. And we're starting to see little by little. More and more. If we would have started a year ago, we'd probably be back to twice as much as we have now. The sooner we start, and then we have new families that are coming. New kids that move in neighborhoods that are coming. It's a lot of work. But why couldn't I start before? I wanted to start a year ago. But why I was not able to? I couldn't do it by myself. I wanted to, but I couldn't do it myself. I prayed, and then finally God raised the leaders. Now on Sundays, because of our youth, we have our Sunday school class. On Wednesday, we started Sunday school again. Now we have teachers, we have Sunday school, so we can do it again. I wanted to before, but we couldn't. I think Sunday school is so important, so vital. I don't know sometimes why we sometimes close Sunday school. We did that mistake. And then it came, okay, we're going to have short services live in person, but just service. No more Sunday school. And then we realized those people left, didn't come back to church, then we didn't have leaders, we didn't have Sunday school teachers. You might be saying the same thing, but we started again and we see the youth coming back to Sunday school. The sandwich is important, the same thing as the preaching. But we just had, okay, started again. And now we're all excited. Before it was like, oh, we just come Sunday, we leave. Come Sunday, there's no leadership development, there's no really. And now we're like, both churches, I see now, wow, now there's more people, new people coming in. Yeah, we lost some, but now we're back again. And I never started a church with a little bit of people. Every time I learn DCPI, I normally say from the past, but I mean after doing it, I always start with a group. And in the pandemic, we started 2 churches, but now with leaders. So, I mean, a forum with, leaders for the kids, for the youth, for the men, for the women, for Sunday school, for different things. We started the churches with nothing just because we had to, there was a need and we started anyway. I said, no, let's not start. Pastor Amanda said, William, let's go ahead, it's an opportunity, let's do it. No, wanted to, that was my plan. We were looking at a place, but, okay, we started. And then this last week, we went knocking on doors and invited people. We had 2 new families coming. They were there, they prayed. They used to go to church, but they came to this country and they were praying, there was no church, and blah, 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 and there was church right in front of them. And then they were in church, they're back on track, and then they sing, they play instruments. Hey, this is what we're praying for. They have kids. And then not just that, we were praying that the apartments next door, they're locked up. We wanted to go invite, and the people that work there right away, if you're not invited here, nobody here can't be here. That's not a house. And then those 2 families live right there across. Now we have access. So what do we have to do? Get started. What do you need to do? It takes 1 person. Start praying. Start loving. Start caring. It takes 1 person. Well, why do we need to do it? One of these to go one by one, but they all showed up all at once. Youth are the life of the church. I'm old now, I'm not a dead person in the church. You, young people, are the life of the church. I went to a church in Orange. We started a church in an Anglo church in Orange. And when I walked into the Anglo church, there was only like 30 people, white heads and no heads. And the pastor's ministry, the church used to be like 200-300 people. It was a big church before. The capacity for 500 people. The pastor was retiring too. What was his ministry? Just burying the people. Like, what a beautiful ministry. Just make sure they made it. Your congregation made it to heaven. And then he retired. He says, here, you become the pastor of both the both congregations, whatever's left, and the Spanish congregation. But there was no youth, no young couples and kids. We don't have kids. We don't have youth. Set it for the future. The kids bring their life. I don't care if they mess up and they break something. It's better than them running around and making noise than nothing here. That means we have children. That means we're going to have youth. That means we're going to have families and more kids and so on. The church goes on. But we were lacking youth for the church. But we started looking at, there's a lot of 10, 11-year-olds. This was going to happen in a couple of years. Holiness. Holiness again. And then after the pandemic, we're like, guess what's going to happen now? They're coming back as holiness. Holiness. We got to start doing something again. Holiness. And some join they still meet on Zoom. But I'm waiting for them to come back. Now we're doing it Wednesdays. And some can come Fridays, and we'll see what's going to happen when we change it to Fridays. If they can come. But some couldn't come Friday because they had sports, they had different things going on Fridays, so we changed it to Wednesday. But if vacation time comes, we'll do it Fridays. Hopefully that works out, but after that, you can go. But we need the youth. They bring life to the church. Just look at the events. Mother's Day. Can you imagine Mother's Day without youth? Can you imagine Christmas without youth? Can you imagine your church without youth? Adults need us. We need you guys. I say that because I was born in leap year, okay? I'm going to be 14 next year. Okay? You guys know already when I was born, how old I am. Yeah, I'm almost 60. Yeah? So we need our youth. That's what we need to open. We gotta start. If nobody shows up, you show up, you pray for that empty chair. Nobody shows up, you pray until you get another chair and another chair. The sooner you start, the sooner those chairs will start filling. You don't know what to do, you don't have a board, you don't need it. Just start praying for that empty chair. And you start coming, and life. You see life again. You keep the church going. They're the ones that keep going. They're the ones that work. They're the ones that come and do things. But young people don't want to just come and sit down. You got to give them a chance to work. They want to feel part. They want to feel useful. Youth is assurance of the future of the church, like I said. Just think about it. What's going to happen 10 years from now? If we don't start with the youth, what's going to happen 10 years from now? Where is our church going to be 10 years from now? Where is it going to be 20 years from now? They're not there, that means there's not going to be no kids either. Because they didn't get married, they don't have kids, there's no families. What's going to happen to the church? The ministry we're going to have, fire and life, is just to bury people. Maybe to heaven. We need youth back in church. We'll talk a little bit because Some of them don't wanna come back to church. We gotta rethink how we're gonna do things. There's a couple of young guys, 2, 3 young guys that, can't come to church sometimes because of work. And the only time that they meet was in the evenings. So I say, you know, can I meet with you guys at 10 p.m.? Taco Tuesdays, I'll buy you tacos. I started investing in them. Now they take me to different places. Life is simple. We meet at 10, 11, but then to midnight, I get home, I gotta work the next day and everything, but we still got that connection. There's some families that when I come back to church, I have to do things different. Can I come to your house and get a Bible study? Have a soda, whatever I give on Sunday, I'll bring it to your home. Come to my house. You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, every week, I'm like, oh man. I do want you to raise your hand, but now I got different people saying, you can take that one, you can take that one. But I went to this house in particular, it's a big family, and their mom came visiting from Mexico. Old lady. Every time she came, she didn't want to go to church, nothing to do. She was Catholic, hardcore, and she was upset because her daughter married a Christian. Her daughter married a Christian man. But she was there, and I got there the first time to do the Bible study, and she went, very cold, and then she went to the room. Next week I come, and she says, you know what? I heard everything last week from the room. Can I stay here and listen from here? I go, I invited you last time too. Stay. So she came every Thursday. Accepted the Lord, and she was practically giving the class, all these questions and everything. 6 months after, she got healed. About a month now since we had our funeral. Where is she at now? And then she had a couple other people coming to the cell. Because they have influence. Dijo, te quiero aquí. Yo voy a hacer la cena, y llegues para después te quedas para la plática. You never called it preaching or anything, called it plática. That's why I called it first, to let her know she can come to our talk. And since she talked plática, that's why she used to talk about it. Well, we just have to start doing things differently. Maybe you need to take them to coffee. You gotta invest a little bit. And give your time and gas. And from my house, Norwalk to Tustin was like 45-minute drive. I was like, I don't care. And they come to church, the kids in Bible quizzing. He's gonna go to the world quizzing in Annapolis. There's what? Invested in doing, trying different things. What are you going to do? Well, then I come into a youth group, then I come into church, you go to them. And I'll go into this. Youth, we need the youth because the youth can reach other youth. Young people can reach other young people. For a lot of reasons, especially the day we live now, if there's a 12-year-old, I want to take the 12-year-old out by myself. Oh, I don't do that anyway. What are we going to do? We get a couple of the young people, let's go together. My daughter went back to college. She was in college, she graduated. Even during the pandemic, Fort Byron, I had her working at it, coming all the way to Norwalk for Wednesday Bible study for the youth. He had his church over there in Costa Mesa, and then he was coming on Wednesday, picking up kids and bringing kids from over there here to support us to get a youth going. Well, we had not a big group, maybe we had 10, 12. We bought them a house. My daughter was bringing her friends. My nephews were bringing their friends, and they're all close by. What I thought it was like a lot of work going to be in Norwalk, it came out to be a blessing. Because I live there, and my nephews and other kids' family can come and bring their friends. Well, what do we got to do? Something different. A youth can reach other youth. Youth are going to bring other youth. Find the worst one you can. God will change them, and He'll bring everybody else. Last but most importantly, youth need to be saved. They live in the day and age now that it's so dark and so bad, but they need salvation more than important. They don't need politics, they don't need to talk about, names and LGBTQ and all that stuff right now. First of all, they need Jesus. And then God's gonna fix everything else. And you teach them, they come in, they're gonna bring a lot of points, a lot of things you're gonna need to face and talk about. All right, how to get NYI started. So I'll show you the site, give you a lot of good points. Build it and they will come. Build a place. Talk to your pastor. Have a room, that's gonna be just for them. Put a sofa in there, put a little refrigerator in there, put soda in there, have snacks, put a high price on them. Yeah, put the soda's $2. Oreo cookies, $1. Put a price on them. But you bring them in and say, you know what, today is free. You can get one, you can get one. Oh, okay, so it's charges, but not free. And the ones that pay, use that money for the youth. But, somebody wants it there, somebody wins it, you can win it, different things, but have a special place that they want to have a place to belong. Zelda did something, this room that we're using for storage, and stuff. I don't know how she did it. Window was broken. Different stuff. I went one day. He said, Pastor, this doesn't get good. I go, yeah, fine, no problem. I go in, the walls, everything painted, the window was broken, the window was replaced. I go, how did all this get there? Shelves, seats, chair, screen, and then a bigger screen. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm picking up my nephews because they're coming. They're early coming. It's time to go. It's time to go. And she went to buy some stuff and different things and said, okay, I'll give the kids class. He goes, no, we want it so. Okay, she's coming, don't worry. What do I have to do? Just open the doors, just build it. Open the doors. You're home, somebody just open the doors, they'll come. And another thing I was talking about, what I had, go get them. Just go get them. Sometimes they don't answer text, they don't answer the phone, they show up at the door. There's a young person that I'm trying to find. I've been driving out for 2 weeks now. He has to return my text and my phone calls, so we're supposed to go out. I passed to the house, waiting for the car to be there. He's on a motorcycle. And I said, oh, let's see, now it's raining, let's see if his motorcycle's there. No, he wasn't there. What is he doing driving on the motorcycle? All right, but you gotta go get him. Don't give up. Now, this is the part I want you guys to participate. It's almost there. All right, what's working? Let's hear some testimonies, some ideas, some possibilities for you guys. What's working at your church? Somebody wants to share what's working at your church? What you guys are doing?
Well, right after service, we do like a social time, so we eat snacks and we play soccer, like right in the parking lot, and or volleyball.
See, sports, physically, socially, and you do the spiritual already too, and emotional, intellectual, you did all the areas. And feed them, they'll come. I discovered Little Caesar's Pizza a long time ago. Wow. $5. I know the prices went up a little bit. Yeah, $7.29 because some of them like the sucrose. I like it not too. Just don't give them the option. They want to make it because they'll say yes. Okay, just pizza. Even for the kids, pizza. Yeah, feed them, will come. Volleyball, sports after. What day do you guys have it?
On Friday.
Friday, everybody's invited to Pasadena Friday. Let me go to another church. Then, somebody else, what are you guys doing? What's some testimonies of what you guys are doing that we can hear and say, hey, you know what? We gotta clean up. I'm not here thinking, you know what? I want to have to clean the backyard and do volleyball. We've done it in the past. With basketball.
So at our church, we get our youth involved and give them a sense of agency. So letting them know, like, if you want to do events, you know, like instead of me planning it for you, let me know what you wanna do. And that way they come up with ideas, and if it's something where they have to like spend money on, then I ask them, well, how do you want to fundraise for this? And as you give them that sense of agency, then they get more involved. And then once you get them involved in that local level, then you start also bringing them to the zone district events and letting them know like, these are the things that we do, and they get excited to see other youth like them. And then they start asking, you know, when's the next district event, or when's the next zone event? Just letting them know that there's a place for them, that it's catered specifically for them, for their growth, and for them to also know that they could have a say in it. It's just not, you know, it's not the older people setting it up for them, but if they want to see something happen, then they have a voice, and it's just not saying, oh, that's not a good idea, but saying, all right, we want to do this, and how are we going to do it? And just giving them, you know, that sense of responsibility, and they feel a part of the church that way too.
It's their event, so they'll be there, they'll invite, be motivated, get them involved, that's great. Adriel did something, one time, for a long time. People have different youth speak at different times, for different topics. And I was surprised, with my daughter, you know, let's talk about dress code in the church. There was like a big thing going on, and then she gave good points, and I'm glad she gave it because she changed the way she dressed. So get them involved, they become there, and then they also appreciate more of the work you do to bring the message. So that's, get them involved, really good idea. Anybody else? What's going on at Belvedere?
I don't wanna speak for my youth, I'd rather you speak for themselves.
All right, let's see.
Oh no, about once a month, we got like special Bible study groups, like College and Career is one that happens on Saturday a month. Other Saturday a month, it'll be high school, middle school, and kind of split up by age. And it's pretty cool. Right now with the college group, we're going through the purpose driven life book by Rick Warren. And then it's not just the study, there's also snacks and chips and stuff. And then we stay and play board games. And it's a good time.
You'd be surprised how board games bond people. Sometimes they get upset because they lose, but. All right. How about Camilo Santiago, what you guys are doing? Mr. Chair, what are you, Camilo Santiago doing at church with you? Are you guys doing something?
One thing that we haven't officially started our youth group back, but like one thing that we do on Sundays is like I'll invite youth to all of us together play Among Us, something like that. Or we'll play like Uno. I know they enjoy that a lot. We have the different sizes. We have large Uno right there, the mini Unos. We'll just go at it. So board games helps us a lot. Games in general. We had something in business where we did just games and pizza, Little Caesars pizza. So that helps a lot.
All right. Anybody else? I know Rancho mentioned a little bit, want to share anything else?
Sure. I mean, one of the things that at least I personally focus on is bringing topics that are relatable to the youth. I always keep the balance between having fun and the work. And I think that's very important because the paperwork says that the purpose of the youth is to engage. So we have to engage with them. We have to make it, I mean, a lot of them, well, they all go to school, they all have tough weeks, easy weeks and whatnot. They need a place where they can be okay and make it fun, make it a place that they feel comfortable for them to continue coming, and then also for them to invite other people. So, having a balance of fun and the word is really important. You know, we have to make church a place where they want to be and not be forced to go. In Rancho, so we take that, we have activities, we have our services. We don't have worship on Fridays with the youth, we don't. But, because we don't have the band capabilities for a Friday service, but a lot of young people keep coming back because it's relatable to what they're experiencing in life, right? So I think that's what's been working for us. And then having them involved in church, they run the sound, they run the cameras, they ran audio video, just keeping them involved.
Love that, get them involved, Another thing that matters a lot, and if you keep what going on our rancho, they have an English service too. And most of the people that stand there is the young people too, the young families, and the whole church, but this, not just the young, but a lot of young people come.
It's an English service, it's not a youth service. But, so we have senior citizens, we have entire families that come. It's not just a youth service on a Sunday, it's an English church.
It's like I was saying, oh, worry, we don't have youth services, and we don't have youth, and I won't go down because, I'm always used to having a big youth group and this and that, and then I went Sunday morning and I got the youth up there. Then we didn't have a lot of youth, like the youth service group, like we did in the past, but the youth are back in the church, and they're the ones for the church. And what I was saying, that he has an English service, so that makes it possible for them to still be at church, even though maybe they don't attend the youth service, but they come to church on Sunday. And then it's relevant, and thank God it's intergenerational. They got senior citizens, they got the whole family. It's a really good opportunity. Some of you guys can probably start your English services and involve the whole families. That's really good. I know Pam is going by. Anybody else wants to share? Oh, Santi, I want to hear. Santi?
So this has kind of been a culmination of the past few years. So originally, like at the beginning of our calendar year, I will do an anonymous Google survey of what the youth want to hear, what topics they'd like to discuss, and then just activities overall that they'd like to do. And then a lot of them, before COVID, we would do youth retreats just within our church, just to kind of build that fellowship within our youth. And so, you just rent an Airbnb, have the church pay for our transportation, and then we will fundraise to pay for Airbnb and food and stuff like that, to make it more economical for our youth, so that, there's, all they have to focus on is getting to know each other and having fun and stuff outside of church. And then we also do the snacks, and we have a coffee corner and stuff like that, just little stuff that kind of makes them feel like they're welcome there, so that it's not necessarily oh, I'm going to youth service. It's more oh, I'm gonna go sit with my friend, listen about the word, and also be social and whatnot. So I feel like it's been working. We're still not at a big number. Some Sundays I'll have 15 jóvenes, and then the next Sunday I'll have 5. So it fluctuates. But the youth that are there are a younger generation as well. All of the young adults are married, have children, and stuff like that. So we mostly focused on catering to youth. And so I'm trying to figure out ways to cater to our young adults so that they don't feel separated, and they don't feel disconnected from the church.
You said a word very important. Connected socially. Have them spend time together. Camino Sanidad, that's what they do. And that's one way to get back started. Say, I'm moving out of my house. Things and this, everybody completes different things. Get together, just get together. We have to do things a little different than we've done in the past, and that's what I'm saying. But we gotta get started. And then we also have to be consistent. If it's gonna be once a month, it's gonna be once a month. If it's gonna be once a week, you gotta be back and get consistent so that they can build a habit, a good habit, and get it together.
something that's helped our church youth a lot too is getting involved with the whole family in general. Getting involved with the parents has really helped us because we have like parents who invite us over for dinner and we just like show up at their house and maybe they're like, what are you doing here? So it's just helped a lot with that relationship with like Pastor David and me as their other leader. It's just really getting connected with the whole family. So then just being involved in having them invite us, having us go to sports games and just things like that. It's just getting involved in different ways than just on a Friday or just on a Sunday, but having it become like, people, we are here, we want to be involved, not just these specific church days, but all the time, we love you all the time.
And that's why some of our churches are still involved in youth, because we're there trying to keep them together and keep them connected. I want to see what Wall Heights is doing. I grew up in the church too.
We're still like rebuilding so it's still kind of needed with us. But we're still trying to encourage more people to keep coming. What used to work for us was after Sundays we would gather, have some food, obviously we have really enjoyed it a lot. So we did that, time for the word, time play game as well.
And I know some of us haven't started yet. I know Wall Heights, we're from Wall Heights too. Where are you from? Oh, from Belvedere too. And La Fuente. He's probably the only youth president right now and youth leader and everything, but he's motivated. So what I want to get to right now is build something. As soon as possible. It's like a warning, an alarm is sounding. If we don't do something, there's no future for the church. Because the youth are the life of the church, the youth are the future of the church, the youth is what keeps the church going. Like I was saying, the ones financially supporting the church right now, because they get paid, as soon as they get paid, sell. I hear my little phone ring. All right, who was it? Nice. Good epidemic? Nice. Venmo, sell, different ways they give their offerings, they give their time, they be supporting, and they come. But just build something. You gotta be creative, whether it be at church, a home, coffee shop, anywhere you can find places to start something, and then be consistent on it. To be fun, always make it fun. Whatever you do with young people, don't make it boring. Find a way to make it fun. And just open the doors. Open the door of your heart, open the doors of your home, somewhere, just a car, pick them up, take them somewhere, or just start doing something. If not, you guys go get them. One by one. One by one. And the sooner you start, the sooner we build. Well, time went by, thank you guys for your time. I want to have Gabriel come up and give some announcements and some information. I know they're here for you, they love you guys, and I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to allow me to do what I love to do.
Let's give a thank you to Pastor William and Tina. Pastor William brings us experience that we don't have yet, but we're praying that one day, we're all able to have experience under our belt, we're able to have these opportunities to come and, encourage you. And I know Pastor William presented it in the beginning, but we just want to remind you, we have a couple of events coming up. May 5th, we have our district convention. It's on a Friday. So we have our youth service and we have a special speaker coming. It's going to be awesome. It's a place where you just bring your whole youth, bring your church, bring your parents, bring people, and let us have a time of fellowship together. Let us just work in rebuilding, the ground that we've had, built for us, but because of COVID and so many different things, it's just been dismantled. And then from June 25th to the 30th is our district youth camp. So we're bringing it back. It's been 3 years since we've had a district youth camp, and it's going to be, June 26th to the 30th. And it's going to be from ages 12 to 23. So if you're still, 20, 22, 23, you're still able to come as a camper, and we just want to open up this opportunity again for everybody to make sure that if you missed out on camp, because of COVID and we didn't have anything in these past 3 years, you're still able to have that experience, right? And right here we have our NYI district contact info that has myself as your district president, I have Julie here as your vice president, and I have Connie or Consuelo in the back as your secretary. We have our phone numbers, our emails for each of us here. If you want to reach out to us and get in contact with us, we just really want to let you know that we're here for you. You know, I know that a lot of us here maybe had a youth group back, and now we don't have any youth group, or now we're trying to work with something that is not really there. And we have experience with that, and we understand that sometimes it's not easy going up to a leader, or sometimes it's not even easy going up to your own pastor, because there's a difference of ideas, there's a difference of traditions and things like that. And we're not here to tell you that don't go to your pastor, go to your pastor, but we're also here to serve you. We're here to talk with you. Sometimes there's difficult conversations or questions that we have, and we necessarily don't feel comfortable going to our pastor, like I said, but we're here to serve you. We're here to make those connections with you so that you don't feel discouraged. You don't feel like this is a place where you can have your voice heard, but that you're here and you're a part of our district, you're a part of our church, and more importantly, you're a part of Christ's church, because that's what we're all a part of. We're all a part of Jesus' church, right? So any questions that you may have, any concerns, ideas, we want to talk with you. We want to make those connections with you. We're not just, fit your heads that you just see every now and then at district events, but people that you can communicate with regularly. We were once in your guys' shoes, right? Before district presidency, local youth leader, before youth pastor, being a youth member myself. So, it's difficult sometimes, but we're here to encourage you. We're here to give you ideas if you need ideas, or just somebody to talk to. One of the things that Johnny said is that we all love eating, right? So if there's ever any time you just want to meet up, right, grab a meal together, lunch, dinner, we're open to it. We're open to coming to your churches, and just having a fun time together. So again, we'll leave this up here, and if you have any questions about our upcoming events, if you look in your binders, you'll have the district calendar, and you'll see all the events that we're going to have on the district level. So if you need the dates, they're there. If you didn't get one, we still have some supplies back there. You can grab one. It has all the important information. It's just not papers we printed out for you guys to just throw away later, but information for you to know how to build up your youth group again.
If camp registration or pre-registration is open, so if you guys need the link, please let me know and I can email that to you guys. It was sent out to your pastors or youth leaders, but if you need it, please let me know.
Yes, pre-registration, it doesn't say your spot, but it does let us know and engage how many of you are interested in coming to camp. That way we can start thinking. Who are coming, yes. Those of you who are coming, right? Those of you who want to, experience camp again. So it's very important. It's also on our youth group page. We also have a district. How many of you guys follow the district page on Instagram? So like 5 of us. Well, we have a district youth page, and that's where we post all the important information. We also send it out through email, and we will send it out to you personally if you need that. So I know it's a lot of information you've received right now, but if you need time to digest it, time to ask questions, we're here for you. Don't feel like you can't come on to this. So with that, why don't we end with a word of prayer? And Pastor Matt, why don't you end us with a word of prayer?
It's all set up. We've been sitting down for a while, so might as well. May God continue helping you guys. You guys' journey as youth leaders, as pastors, as people that invest time, energy, finances into the youth. Nobody said it was going to be easy. But don't forget that we're not alone, all right? All right, Heavenly Father, Lord, we want to take this opportunity to praise you and to thank you for just the opportunity of getting together. Thank you for the resources. Thank you for the knowledge, for everything that you have allowed us to do in the past. But right now, Lord, we want to put our present in your hands. We all from different churches. Every church is different. Every church has their struggles, their highs and their lows. But right now, Lord, the common denominator between all of us here is you. And we want to thank you for that, and we want to continue asking to help us do the job that you are asking us to do. And we know that if we are in this position, it's because one, you allowed it, and two, you have given us and already equipped us to do what we need to do. Continue helping us, trusting in you, but also looking at you, Lord, for the ways that you need to speak to your people and your youth. So we ask you to continue helping us. Let this not be the last time that we get together and talk about what we can do or what we cannot do, but you can continue helping us. Be with every church here represented. May you give them, Lord, what they need. And we also pray for the churches that are not here. For whatever reason, we pray for them, that you can continue helping them. We have a beautiful district. It runs up and down this whole entire California, Lord, and we want to do what is necessary for our local churches. And we want to continue asking you for today and for the plans that you have for each church in the future. Thank you. We put every president in your hands. We put, Lord, every leader that has to deal with anything youth related. We pray for every pastor that you can continue helping them lead their local churches and their individual churches. So thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for this time. And now help us go back and evaluate what we're doing. Look at ways to do it better. Take advantage of the resources, Lord. And most of all, Lord, continue being guided by you. Give us what we need and take away everything that we don't need. And whatever you take away, Lord, replace it with something that comes from your hand. Because we know that everything that comes from your hand is good. Now that we all go back to our home churches and in our homes, Lord, please be with us. For some people travel short, from people that are going to travel all the way to Central Cal, Lord, please be with them as well. And give us a blessed time tomorrow at church. And continue helping us grow and continue helping us develop to be the leaders that you're expecting us to be. So thank you, Lord, once again. And you let me pray, and we all say, Amen. Never get Michael back.
Very quickly, if you guys are able to help us put this stuff away, these burgundy reddish chairs go back over there, and then these tables go lined up right there. So if you can help us out, that'd be great. Thank you. There's more. You guys there.